Hey guys, I wanted to bring you an initial thoughts video here on the beta branch that's dropped in Death Must Die. So he played for about 5.5 to 6 hours last night, just doing some testing with different builds, testing some of the different stuff that's changed. Now, firstly, the developers have put a couple of posts in here in the mailbox that you can read through if you're on the beta branch. It's pretty interesting, their kind of thought process, and, I think I think this is sort of one thing that we should go over real quick. Winning an act. This is sort of one thing that they want to sort of balance the skill, the grind required, knowledge of systems, and luck. They want to make all four of these be sort of important, especially as you go up towards Darkness 100. So they've also listed some builds and stuff in here, and some other topics that they're talking about, like why not buff everything is something that they go into here, and we'll get into that in a second, but I wanted to start with some nerfs and buffs, because there have been some significant nerfs, which I don't think a lot of people are going to be super happy about, but let's just go through a few. So, Aegis buff from 50 to 60%, champion down from 108 to 80. Now, there have been a few other values that have changed in here. Mostly, they're not really that different. You can get an extra dash charge back from blocking here, which is kind of fun. Most of the other values in here not really changed that much, so go through and have a look at Mr. Avron if you want. Now, Maris Surge has been buffed from 50 to 80%, which is pretty huge. This is really cool. Now, I think the values on the dragons have changed here a bit, but I don't have the old values in front of me, but I think that has been buffed a little bit. Telekinesis still pretty strong. Aspect of the Hydra, minus 200% cast damage to double your projectile count. Now, I haven't really done big testing on Aspect of the Hydra yet, but that sounds like a significant nerf. Now, Esoteric Flow and Twin Cast have also been nerfed. This is down to 50%. I think it was 60 or 65% previous. Twin Cast was 30% down to 20. Now, they've also nerfed Arcane Intelligence down from 8 down to 4, which is... Man, that's a lot of skill points to spend for 4% expert offers. I don't know how I feel about that one. The rest of the values really haven't changed all that much in Maris's skill tree here, though. Channel is still the same, which is cool. Let's go on to Nixie. Now, Nixie, didn't really get a lot of buffs as far as I can tell in here. In fact, I think the attack per chance was nerfed, which is kind of questionable to me, because she needs massive buffs, and the one test build that we did, which was the poison darts and Mind Reaper, still feeling pretty weak, so I don't know what's up with that. Now, Cront Boy here, War Chief, has, in fact, look, there's a bug here too, where I managed to select two, so they need to fix this as well. But War Chief has been nerfed significantly. It no longer scales on the area. So, yeah, and it's considered a dash now too, but no longer scales on area. The damage is still scales on your attack damage. You can still make it pretty strong, but the area is pretty weak. In general, Behemoth Heart has also been nerfed a bit. I think Enrage will still be really strong. Enrage and Berserk, and this tree here I think is still going to be really strong. Ancestral Knowledge is still pretty good. War Chief, kind of feels bad. It kind of feels bad now. Now, we only did two runs with it, and we got slaughtered in both of them, to be frank. Yeah, we'll come back to Cront in a second. Scardy, we tried the status effect build on Scardy, and boy, oh boy, does it feel trash still. So, I don't know what's going on with Nixie and Scardy. They need massive buffs in this patch. It doesn't, on this beta branch, it does not feel like they got big buffs, which is really quite sad. Go on to Lorien. Basking Greatness was nerfed from 3 down to 2, and it is still pretty strong though. So, Basking Greatness has been nerfed, but it did survive. Especially, I think, if you take advantage of Deadeye. So I think the single strike cheese kind of builds, if you go in with just a single strike and try and level 1 strike Lorien is weaker now, but if you go in with multiple strikes, you can boost your attack crit chance quite a bit, and then things still get pretty crazy for Lorien here. So now, Lorien has been nerfed in another way. The golden bow is no more. It's gone from 20% master offers to 0 master offers. Now, it needed to be nerfed, but man, it's now a trash weapon that I don't think you're really going to want to use, to be honest with you. I think it's been nerfed. It needs something on it to be more interesting, because the way it is right now, it just kind of feels bad. Just kind of a feels bad moment. Now, where is Lorien? It's got 120% damage, so if you want to boost your base damage, you know, you can equip it, but it has nothing special on it now whatsoever. I think they need to do something to it to make it more interesting. Even if you don't want to put master offers on it, fine, but yeah, just having 120% damage is kind of a, yeah, kind of a feels bad moment. Now let's talk about gear, because this is one of the biggest changes. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about some of the buffs, because heal and kill, I think, is going to be really strong and really essential here at Darkness 100 now, at least with how they've presented this patch. Queen of Worm's got a massive buff. This thing is awesome now. This thing is like probably going to be one of the best in slot items for Darkness 100 specifically. Maybe lower Darkness levels, you know, it'll be kind of not required. Now, there is also another change at Darkness 100 that affects this too, so we'll get into that in a second, but lots of the damage values have just been nerfed straight up. So this used to be like 100 and something percent, or 100% or so. Now it's down to 50%. Some of the values have just been kind of crushed here. Attack crit chance has been nerfed on items significantly. Now, one thing that has been buffed across the board is what's it called? Life regen. Where are we? Life regen. The values have been significantly buffed, so you'll see 1.7 life regen on a single chest piece here. So you can stack up a lot of life regen. Now, I think this change is good. I think it needed to happen, because I think life regen in the previous, or in the live game, feels pretty bad on a lot of the items. I think this was a good change. However, most of the other values on these items have actually been nerfed. And some of them, understandably so, some of them is kind of a feels bad moment. Now, something that has survived are these the curse items. Curse items actually feel pretty strong. Curse of Slowing only rolled 20% there, which kind of sucks. But do we have inaccuracy over here somewhere? No, not. I wouldn't want life regen. Hold on. Here we go. Curse of Inaccuracy, almost 240%. So some of these values have been buffed. But I don't know if you've noticed, the biggest one that's been nerfed here is Master and Legend offers. So I understand Master and Legend offers in the current live game are incredibly powerful. However, it's kind of been nerfed into the ground here, and I don't think it feels that great to have such small Master and Legend offers. Now, there's also another problem that exists with that, because there are still some characters that have more access to Master and Legend offers than others. And if, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird to me that Kront would have Master and Legend offers in his skill tree and on a couple of his weapons, and no one else does. That's a kind of a weird balance choice to me. If you're going to make Master and Legend offers harder to get, it should be relatively equal across the board. Having one... This is the same problem with the Golden Bow. Having one character having a good chunk more Master and Legend offers than the other characters is a balance problem, in my opinion. I don't know. I think some of these values are too low. I think some of these have been nerfed too much. Now, let me show you a couple of things in here that I think you guys are not going to be super happy about. Waste, 0.6 negative life regen. This is a huge WTF feels bad, man, moment. Now, this thing was best in slot before it needed to be nerfed. It had Master offers, it had Legend offers, it had 120 life and only negative 0.2. So that was crazy. Okay, I understand that, and it needed to come down. But 0.6 negative? Who's going to want to equip this thing now? it means you're forced to put significant amount of regen on other pieces to sort of make up for that, not just one. Now, the other thing is, inner piece has not been changed. So inner piece, if you still can land it, is going to be incredibly strong. Actually, while we're on the topic, God of War also not changed. They're just going to be harder to get now, which is kind of a weird balance choice in my opinion. I don't know. Now, I think Master and Legend offers maybe did need to be toned down, but I think it's been hit too hard here. I don't know, it feels pretty bad to go into Darkness 100 and only see white offers showing up. It feels pretty bad. I don't know. Now, obviously, you still get lucky sometimes and a Master or a Legend will roll. But, boy, oh boy, you can go an entire run up to the first boss and not see a Master or a Legend offer. And I think that's I think that nerf is too heavy. Speaking of the first boss, boy oh boy, he was buffed and he is so crazy now. Not because he has more health or anything like that. He might have a bit more health. It's because he will constantly spawn ads the entire time. This is bad because you are forced into using AoE to try and take on this crazy amount of ads that keep spawning. And you have no time to DPS the boss in between ad spawning waves or sections of his boss fight. This is really bad because it forces you into super either crazy boss melt setup or really strong AoE to deal with the ads, and then you have basically no boss damage, and it's kind of a big feels bad moment. In fact, I think this is the worst change they've put in, because every single build that we tested, aside from one, or maybe two, aside from one, every single build we tested died at the first boss because of his ads spam, or the ants. And the ants are still a big problem. They still are so tanky, and they will still annihilate you from off screen. You know what I mean? They're still crazy. Their attacks are slightly easier to dodge now, but only by like this much. And it's like, oh man, it's crazy. The first boss, I think, is a big problem the way it's currently implemented. It forces you to build in a very specific way to overcome it, which I think is not the intention. I think it goes against what they've even said in their own posts in the mailbox there. I think that needs to, the ad spawn there needs to come back down. I don't think there's any reason for it to be that crazy. If you want to make his attacks a bit more lethal or his puddle a bit more lethal or something, yeah, sure, go for that. But it's kind of a big feels bad moment. And as I said, the ants are still crazy. Now, the second boss didn't feel too bad. The times we actually got there, we did manage to beat her, so it wasn't too bad. After 6 hours of testing, the only build we managed to actually beat Darkness 100 on is Cast Spam Meris. Which, haha, she survived! Woo! Please don't nerf Meris. I love my Meris. Please don't nerf her. Speaking of Meris, though, I want to show you guys one other thing in here, which I personally don't like, but I'd like to hear your feedback on if you guys think this is a good change or not. Let's get rid of this junk. I wanted to go on Meris. It won't show me Meris. Oh no, here we go. Alright, Scepter of Races. Now they've changed the Gift of Races to be your cast and summon damage, crit chance, cooldown reduction, count, area, and duration bonus convert to power bonuses instead. But we no longer have the 100% heals, regens, and life steals. I don't like this change personally. I think if you want to give Meris some power options, put them in no skill tree. But you've now taken my personal favorite weapon and gutted the reason that I liked it, which was the 100% heals, regens, and life steals. Now Meris has no defense in her skill tree whatsoever, and now you've nerfed one of the only weapons that gives her significant healing, or a significant defense boost. and you've traded it off to make her a power user, which is not a she's not a power user at all. So I don't understand this change. I think if you want to put something, an item in, another unique or something that allows her damage bonuses to be converted into power, that's fine. I personally, this is my favorite weapon in the game, and it's been gutted in my opinion. It's been not gutted, but it's been changed into something that I don't want it to be personally. If you guys disagree with me on that one, that's fine. That's totally cool. It is what it is. But for me personally, revert Gift of Racist. This is a big no-no to me personally, but it is what it is. Okay, I just want to give some more sort of general thoughts, but let's just quickly go up because there's one change that's also been really, really awesome to see, and that is we no longer move slow while attacking at Darkness 100. Hurrah! Victory, finally! So they teased this before Act 2 even came out. They teased that they were going to change this, and then it was a kind of a rug pull situation because it was like, if you want to play high darkness levels, you still need to do it. I'm so glad that's been changed. Instead, we have a negative to heals, regens, and lifesteals, so 60% less value. So I personally prefer this. Some people might not, but I personally prefer this. It also means you have to stack up quite a bit of regen. Maybe this is the reason that the racist got changed, but man, I still don't like the racist change. But this is a good change because moving super slow when you're attacking was a huge feels bad man moment, and it's much better now, so that's cool. But I think there are a few general things that I just want to mention here as well. If the goal was more build variety, I don't feel like we've landed on more build variety here, because all of the builds that I tested felt, aside from like one of them, felt worse than the previous patch. Oh, so it's two, sorry, because Basking Greatness still feels pretty good. So aside from the two strike spam and cast spam builds, aside from those two, all of the builds we tested felt significantly worse. Now, some of them needed to come down, like War Chief, Stompcront definitely needed to come down. And we haven't tested all the builds in the game yet. So I just want to be clear on that. We haven't tested everything yet. But every other build that we tested, so we tested stuff like status effect Scardy feels trash. The status effects still do no damage. You can't do boss damage with status effects. Like, the fire damage does nothing. Even with the sword that doubles the fire damage, Scardy, status effect Scardy still feels trash. Poison Nixie still feels trash. Now, she's great for ad clearing, but where's her boss DPS coming from with the poison? It just does nothing to the bosses. It feels sad, feels bad. What else did we try? The summoner builds. I mean, summons are still relatively strong, but you have to build pretty tanky now for that kind of build to work. Now, you used to be able to do it a bit more of a glass cannon, but we tried two. We've only tried two thus far as well, to be fair. But they both got slaughtered. Yeah, it's yeah. Avron, I don't know what's going on with Avron. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't tested the attack build yet, but Avron, the normal Avron, not normal, the immortal Avron build, it feels trash now, even with Equilibrium, which is kind of sad. Just does, yeah, it just feels sad. What else did we test? We tested Black Lightning too, which feels like it's been nerfed significantly. Now, Black Lightning was pretty crazy before. So, one of the other positive changes, actually, while I think about it, is some of the affixes on some of this stuff have been changed to be like, Black Lamp is now considered a summon, and maybe these items aren't the best ones to show you. Dark Revenge is now considered a power, and that sort of stuff. So that those things, and so there are some interesting ones here that I do want to test out, which we haven't done yet. So the Tomes is now considered a power, so we can buff it through power damage. That's cool. That's interesting. Curse of Corruption now considered a power. We should be able to buff that through power damage and stuff like that as well, which is nice. So I think those changes are good, but man, oh man, I don't know, guys. I don't think this has landed anywhere near where it needed to. I think the first boss maybe is a big problem that's causing a lot of these builds to feel trash. So it's kind of hard for me to say without doing further extensive testing, because as I said, we only did about 6 hours. So, what else do we want to go over here? So we'll go over a couple of the things that they put in here. The why not buff all thing. So this is interesting. They're talking about builds that kill everything on the screen in 0.1 seconds can never be matched and will never rely on you actually dodging and stuff. Sure. I understand that and I agree to that. I'm not looking for all builds to stomp everything on the screen every 0.1 seconds. What I'm looking for is more builds to feel viable, and I don't think this patch thus far, anyway, has really achieved that. Which is a bit of a shame. Endgame challenge, they want it to be, as we said before, they want it to be sort of a combination of these 4 factors all playing into it. They don't want sort of knowledge and grind to be the only 2 that sort of matter. They want some luck in there, and it's not solely supposed. So this is interesting. It's not supposed to be a DPS check. Right now, it feels like a DPS check. It's not supposed to be a one-shot type of challenge. Stuff like the ants still feel like bullshit. One shot, just I feel like they destroy you in one shot. It's not supposed to be difficulty entirely by removing your ability to control your outcomes, but you've nerfed rolls, you've nerfed, oh man, the fried rice got nerfed significantly too. You've nerfed the master offers and legend offers, you've nerfed the roll significantly. So kinda, it's not supposed to be primarily a knowledge check, where if you just look up a build and spend a bit of a time, you can beat up with just these 2 criteria. So this one, yeah, sure, that's fine. But for these top 3, it's not supposed to be a DPS check. Right now, the first boss feels like a massive DPS check, so do stuff like the ants, and I don't know, we only beat the Jin once, so I can't really comment too much on the Jin himself. Not supposed to be a one-shot type of challenge. That's fine for us not to kill everything in one shot, but man, we still get absolutely annihilated by the ants and stuff and those type of enemies. Not supposed to be a difficulty entirely by removing your ability to control. Man, this has been nerfed significantly, so I don't know. I feel like their goals that they're posting in here are not aligning with what they've actually delivered in terms of balance. So now, let's just say at the end here that it is a small 4-man team, and there is a reason that they put a beta branch out here. It's for us to test and give feedback on. So, and this is just an initial thoughts after the first 6 or so hours. So don't take everything what I'm saying here as like, the be-all, end-all. We're going to do more testing as we go on here. I also wanted to say thanks to everyone who joined the stream last night. We had a good one. We'll try and stream again tonight and do some more testing. Go into a bit more finer testing with some of these builds and see how we go. So, alright guys, thanks for tuning in to another one. Smash like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic, amazing day. We will be back later with some more testing, like I said. I also do want to continue my Wukong, Black Myth Wukong playthrough. That was a super fun game, so thanks to everyone who tuned into that one as well. So I'll leave the video here for now, so thank you very much. Have a fantastic, amazing day. Take it easy.